my name is Trevor.
I'm Vincent.
And we are the Anthony and Todd Show, and I am happy to report that we are going to be reviewing the latest record by Weezer, the Black Album, and not the Teal Album. We already did that one. Weezer has been making music since 1994 with the release of the absolutely incredible and teenage angst solidifying Blue Album, which had so many incredible melodies and songs, and just it perfectly encapsulated what it means to be a teenager in the 90s. And Rivers Cuomo and Company did a really amazing job with that record. Moving on to Pinkerton in 96.
The more edgy and grungy version of the Blue Album, following up with the
Green Album, which I think is
polarizing.
It's more synthetic. It's more upbeat and poppy. It came out in 2001. I personally really like it, and I think that was the end of that first little Weezer era, which afterward we took a dip and we got some decent songs here and there. But actually, we got some really good songs here and there, but some really overall bad records.
Make Believe, Ratitude,
Maladroit, Hurley,
not Green,
the Red Album.
That's what I would say.
Once we made it through that little slog back in like 2014, we had Everything Will Be Alright in the End, which is a little more forgettable and underrated, but I still consider it to be a good album. And finally, in 2016, Weezer released the White Album.
Their most consistently fine-tuned poppiness. Not fine-tuned, or not sweet tooth for money, but sweet tooth because that's their stylistic approach.
Yes, and it was incredible. What a return to form. Afterward, we got Pacific Daydream, which we're not going to talk about that because it was bad, and it was kind of a little dip. Earlier this year, they released a whole album of covers with the Teal Album, but finally, after multiple years of rumors circulating about Rivers wanting to do more of like a bad Beach Boys Gone Bad kind of album, and Rivers was going to say bad words, and he delivered. Rivers said bad words on this record. Finally, the Black Album came out, and like I said, I'm happy to report that this is another victory for Weezer. We can chalk this up as another victory for Weezer.
This is good. This is a good album. I liked it a lot. It's not, I wouldn't say bad boy beach music, but it's essentially the new Pinkerton, because I think White is the new Blue in a sense, because it essentially put him back in the public eye and made him like, oh yeah, Weezer can make good music in this era, and put him back in the spotlight, where I think this is their follow through, where it's people aren't going to like it as much as the previous, or at least in the comparison to the previous records. So people I don't think are going to like this as much as White, because they're trying out new things, and instead of being angsty teenagers this time, it's more dads.
They're adults now. But that
instead
doesn't mean to say that they cannot still make good music in their older age. I find this to be more of a follow-up to the White Album, like you said, completely taking out the Teal Album and forgetting about Pacific Daydream, which I think was a big mistake. And I think
I try to forget about Pacific Daydream, and then all of a sudden it comes back. Bring back the big boy! Bringing the big boys!
We're brought right back again. This record opens with the 4 singles that Weezer have released over the past
year,
probably 6 months. First starting with their opening single, Can't Knock the Hustle, which I was a little iffy on when it first came out, but now in the context of the album, I actually really like this track. It's a lot of fun.
All the singles that have been released, even the one they released before, Can't Knock the Hustle, I think they did for a film. It makes sense in the context of this record.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's more about Uber driving than anything, but it's still like...
No, it's essentially about hustling in the sense of the kind of scummy things that you do.
Like Uber driving.
Like Uber driving, but things you do for fame or things you do for money.
Yeah, basically this guy's like trying to make a bunch of money and get famous, and he's doing so by any means possible, which is just like a fun concept, especially for Weezer.
It fits that like character of Rivers Cuomo very well, and not to say like Rivers Cuomo is like some sleazy guy, but I feel like he could play that character if he really wanted to.
Yeah, I think he could. Following up with Zombie Bastards, which again a little iffy on, but now it makes a lot more sense now. It's almost like this could easily be turned into like a ukulele kind of track.
Yeah,
it's just kind of this like acoustic sounding song about killing these zombies, and if you get killed, then you lived your life, but if you survive, then you're a loser.
Yeah, I almost find the song to be about like Weezer's audience, and that they're just looking for these dumb hooks.
Yeah, and it's still fun.
Yeah.
Following up with High as a Kite, which is it's more of a return to form than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of things off of like the Blue album, or even like their mixtape before, like in the garage mixtape or whatever it was. Here in my garage mixtape, where it's talking about like obviously like getting high, and there people are like trying to drag him down. He's like, "Don't you think I know my worth?
Yeah.
Like, don't you think I know I'm better than that? Like, I don't have to listen to you." Following up with Living in LA, which easily could be a Panic at the Disco track.
Yeah, but I still like it.
Yeah.
I still think
It's
it's
still
probably
fun.
the weaker moment on this album, but I still find it super enjoyable. It's pop music done. This is what I want on my sweet tooth pop. I just want a lot of fun. If it's not fun, why bother?
Following up with the rest of these tracks, I was actually really nervous to go into that because like I feel like at the beginning of the record we had this single padding where I was like, okay, I know how these sound. I know that I like them, but this, it made me like them more in the context of it. But once we got to Piece of Cake, I was like, I don't know, like,
because it
could be bad. Once we get past the single material, I was like, the rest of this album could be really bad.
I think my first thing with it is I feel like Weezer sometimes you have to get used to the lyricism, especially with this project, because it comes off as like really cheesy. That's why I made that like dad rock reference earlier, because I feel
kind of like atmosphere.
Yeah, thing where it's like it's cheesy but in a good way, and it's cheesy because it's part of their character, and there's nothing too stupid or
no, they're not really doing anything like super offensive. Like on here, offensive being like just
offensively bad.
Like offensively bad, just like horrible.
There's no
music.
Beach Boys material on here, not like the band, but like the song.
And they're allowed to be cheesy because I think that the White Album was cheesy, and I even think like the Blue Album and
all the records are cheesy.
Yeah, going back to the beginning, like they've been cheesy. They built off of that kind of cheese factor, and it's really endearing when it's done right. But when it's done badly, it makes me dislike it even more. Weezer like. They kind of teeter a fine line here with just their general music making. But once we got into like original material, I actually found this album to be even more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Because it's basically just single after single after single. Piece of Cake I actually found to be another one of the more weaker moments. But once we got into like I'm Just Being Honest or Too Many Thoughts in My Head, I came to find this record to be really endearing. And while it is cheesy, it is still a lot of fun. They have a lot of really catchy hooks. Every one of these tracks, I feel like, has value in and of itself, and I can go back and like listen to it on its own. It's not just like a filler track. Nothing feels like a generic rock track. It feels like time and effort was put into every one of these.
Yeah. And to mention the track California Snow, which when it came out last year, I was just indifferent to it. But in here, it seems like a grand opus to this fantastic little pop record. The fact that they're able to come back with this after losing my hopes for them, the Pacific Daydream, is miraculous. That they keep on doing this. They keep on losing my expectations, and then they gain it back just like that, so easily and so simply. On this, I just feel like they're just coming through with just what they needed to do and just make fun little pop music. It doesn't have to be bold narrative statements, but it does have to be fun, and the performances on it have to be what you expect from at least Weezer performances. You can't have all of a sudden now it just sounds like it's Rivers Cuomo, a producer. That doesn't work. It has to be Weezer. It has to be the entire band.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm really relieved that this was a good record. I feel like Weezer has had a really tough time over the course of the years making good, consistent music. And I feel really hopeful for them. I've seen a lot of like think pieces of like, what more do we want from Weezer now? Should they stop making music? And to me, I'm like, no. If they're continuing to make music now, then I think that they're gonna hit or miss for the rest of their careers.
Hit Black Album, miss Fortnite.
No, they missed Apex Legends. Yeah, I can't say like how relieved I am that this is good. I feel like I have to constantly defend my like of Weezer. Over the course of the years, because obviously anybody that knows the music scene knows that Weezer has made some really garbage records over their careers, but they have also had some really amazing stuff. And I would chalk this up for another victory. Also, I'm glad that it was good because I'm gonna go see them in March. and so now I know that they're going to be playing good music.
Okay, I have a little bit of beef with this record. Okay, on the track, Too Many Thoughts in My Head. Are they saying fucking night or are they saying funky night?
I think both are acceptable answers.
Is this like a Paul McCartney "fuck you" where I don't know if he wants to foo me or fuck me or fuck me? Because like I just don't understand. But like Too Many Thoughts in My Head, for as cheesy as it is, it comes off as like a modern day look into like anxiety for at least someone of the age of Weezer, especially Rivers, and how even as with fame and a family comes this like overwhelming pressure, especially just in everyone in our society, how we're almost always on these mobile devices and we're overwhelmed by the news. We need time to take a break, and also the Prince Who Wanted Everything is just it's just a quaint little narrative that I like. That's all you need to know. Yeah, there's bold pop ballads on this thing. This is all I wanted from a Weezer album in 2019. Just a bunch of fun pop music and nothing more. Rivers and company are in great form on this record, and I hope we continue to get this maturing almost of their sound in a weird way. But
I feel like they definitely have matured their sound,
at least in the pop field, more than ever now, because this is probably their most.
And they don't have it down to a science, which is beyond me. I would think that they could.
Yeah.
But I'm also very grateful that they keep experimenting, because we get a lot of fun. Like, Can't Knock the Hustle, I would consider to be more of an experimental track. And I think that it really paid off for them, because it's one of their catchiest in a long time. And that the fact that they just keep experimenting with new things shows that they are a dynamic band, you know? Yeah. In the same way that like the Beatles continue to experiment while the Rolling Stones did not.
Yeah.
Obviously, one of them is still together today. Who had more impact?
Yeah.
I think that Weezer's kind of the best of both worlds here. Them as a collective have lasted so long, but they are continuing to experiment with their sounds and push their own boundaries.
Yeah.
Which is just what I want from a band. Even though Weezer's made some really bad stuff, and I have to defend it all the time, even though I don't particularly like it, at least I can say that they experimented while they did that.
Yeah.
So I'm super happy that it was a good record, and I will continue to be listening to this probably even well into the summer.
Yeah.
This is a good summertime record.
Yeah. I have to get another Weezer record to add to the 4. Now I have to have all 4 of the good albums. The albums I can classify as good.
Okay. Blue.
I have blue.
White. Green.
Oh. You don't like Pinkerton?
No, I do.
There
are 5.
I don't need green.
Everything Will Be Alright was pretty good too.
That's okay. that's not the good category. That's the okay. And then green to me is meh. So I don't get that one.
Green is good.
To you, but not to me.
No, you go on a green light. That's good.
Jesus Christ. I think we're going to end it there. Until next time, guys, I've been Vincent.
I am Trevor.
And see you, boys.
Bye, everybody.